So my name's Brian MacCormack, and I'm a consultant paediatric surgeon working in Northern Ireland. Well, it's interesting. There's no doctors in my family, and in fact, my brother's life was saved by a paediatric surgeon when he was tiny. He was born prematurely, and shortly after being discharged from hospital, he developed bacterial meningitis, was super sick, and happened to be picked up by a friend of the family who's a surgeon. Noticed he was really sick, drove him to hospital. He was on a ventilator for a few weeks and literally saved his life by picking the condition up so early. So a bit of a superhero in my house. And then when I came to be old enough to do work experience, he took me under his wing. I went off to medical school thinking that was the dream, to become a pediatric surgeon. And so I feel very, very privileged to be doing this every day. So like I say, my brother's life was saved by a pediatric surgeon when he was tiny. And so when I did my work experience as a student, I just fell in love with the specialty. I went off to medical school thinking that was the pinnacle of medicine, and tried to keep my eyes and ears open to other specialties, tried lots of different things throughout my training, but always came back to pediatric surgery as the thing that excited me the most. It's such a varied practice. I get to operate on tiny babies under 500 grams all the way up to 16-year-old adolescents at adult size, and all of the range in between. So it's quite a varied job, and it's a real privilege to operate and look after children and families together. The most rewarding part of my job is definitely working with children and families. Kids, unlike adults, very rarely feel sorry for themselves, and they've got an amazing ability to heal despite what life throws at them. So it's an absolute privilege to work with them and watch them deal with all the conditions that life throws at them, and a privilege to take someone's young child away to the operating theatre and fix them and then bring them back. And that relationship that I develop with children and their families is just priceless. I think my patients value most about me my kindness and my honesty. Being a father of three myself, I think I can relate to most families and children that I meet. And I try and get the child on side first. So a lot of children who come to see doctors are quite frightened because they thankfully don't need to see doctors very often. And when they come to see me, it's often the first doctor they've ever met. So it's a real challenge sometimes to get them on side. And I think having three children myself and being experienced in the field, it gives me a real advantage to try and help the child be relaxed. And then if they are relaxed and happy, then the family tend to be a bit more relaxed and trusting of the situation that they find themselves in. So I think families very much benefit from that, and the feedback that I get from families day in, day out would suggest that as well. Yeah, so both at home and in work, I think I often would be heard to say things like kindness is a superpower. And my kids are forever tired of daddy saying the same thing, but it really holds true whenever I show a bit of kindness to my colleagues or to staff generally in the hospital. It's always received really well and tends to come back round in my favour. And likewise with families and children, you see how kind some families can be in their response to the treatment that they've received from me and from the staff in the hospital. And it just lifts everyone's mood. Working in healthcare and working with these stressful situations with small babies or very sick children and families can be, there's big ups and downs in my work, and the kindness that people show me, both from the patient side and the colleague side, is just absolutely incredible and really helps keep me going.